You walk into the market today, and the money in your hand can no longer buy what it did yesterday. The same salary, the same banknote, yet your purchasing power is melting away. This is one of history's oldest economic curses, inflation. Inflation isn't just a price increase, it is money losing its trust. Throughout history, this loss has been the state's most powerful, yet most dangerous weapon. When treasuries emptied, when wars or crises knocked on the door, governments always resorted to the same method, printing more money. But something is always forgotten. Printing money isn't free. The price is always paid by the people. The worker trying to survive on a wage, the small shopkeeper forced to sell their gold savings, the retiree. The wealthy usually found a way out. But the vast majority of society has always been the losing side. Today, high inflation dominates headlines in Turkey, Argentina, and Venezuela. But this is not a new story. History has shown us repeatedly Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe, the Ottoman Empire. The infinite cycle of inflation has always worked the same way. Let's examine this story from the past to the present. When we think of inflation, the first example that comes to mind is the Weimar Republic. Germany had emerged from World War I defeated. The 1919 Treaty of Versailles imposed heavy war reparations. The amount was astronomical, 132 billion gold marks. So, how would the state find this money? Taxes weren't enough. Gold reserves were limited. The solution was found in a simple Subuledi formula: printing money. In 1914, money in circulation was 6 billion marks. By 1922, it hit 115 billion, a 20-fold increase. But in 1923, things spiraled out of control. Money circulation increased 500 times over. The impact on daily life was devastating. In the summer of 1923, a loaf of bread cost 100 marks. A few months later, it rose to 100 billion marks. Witnesses tell the story. Workers waited with wheelbarrows just to collect their salaries. Children used banknotes as building blocks because burning that money for heat made more sense than spending it. Weimar's inflation reminded us of a crucial lesson. Money is not just a medium of exchange, it is a symbol of trust. When that trust is broken, even democracy shakes. One of the most striking examples occurred in southern Africa, in Zimbabwe. What this country experienced was not very different from Weimar Germany. Only the date and geography had changed. In the early 2000s, production collapsed. As the economy shrank, the government began printing money to cover budget deficits. Between 2006 and 2008, inflation went out of control. The central bank constantly printed new banknotes, 1 million, 100 million, 10 billion. And finally, a $100 trillion banknote was released. But the tragedy was this. With that $100 trillion note, you couldn't even buy a loaf of bread. People returned to the barter system, rice for shoes, gasoline for labor. The people of Zimbabwe were pushed back to medieval methods in the modern age. The Ottoman Empire ruled 3 continents for 600 years, but it also faced the destructive power of inflation. The basic currency was the akçe, originally containing 90% pure silver. The public trusted this coin, but when revenues couldn't cover expenses, sultans resorted to tashish, debasement. They reduced the silver content and increased the copper. In the short term, the treasury seemed full. But in the long run, public trust melted away. Prices rose rapidly. Clean akçe became more valuable than the state's money. This economic instability fueled rebellions and shook the empire's discipline, paving the way for its eventual decline. Today, Turkey, Argentina, and Venezuela are battling high inflation. In Turkey, while salaries rise, prices climb much faster. People seek refuge in real assets like gold and dollars. Argentina's inflation is chronic, exceeding 140%. Venezuela saw hyperinflation reach 1.7 million% despite its oil wealth. The lesson? Even resource wealth cannot save bad economic management. Today's events are merely a rhyme of what happened in Weimar, Zimbabwe, and the Ottoman Empire. Whether it's Germany, Zimbabwe, or the Ottoman Empire, the cycle repeats. The state prints money. Trust diminishes. Prices soar. The middle class vanishes. Inflation is not just a number, it is a societal story. History gives us a clear lesson. Money relies on trust. When states destroy that value, they burn their society's future. As the saying goes, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And this rhyme continues to melt the money in our pockets.